Alrighty then, mic check. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is Monday night. We are doing open mic night. Don't forget, if this is your first time with us, you have been missing out. If you are not following us over there on our social media, well, you're really missing out on a good time. I'm just saying, especially right over here. If you want to see all the behind the scenes stuff here on Instagram, right there. You want to learn how we earn right here on our Discord channel chat right down in the link below. Let me turn that music down. We were having a little bit too much fun there with the party in the playground there. But let's open up the mic here tonight. And again, we are talking about ALGOBOX. Don't forget that trading is risky. But if trading is for you, make sure you understand all of those risks. And then you might want to come hang out with yours truly and the rest of the crew. My crew, absolutely outstanding, amazing people. Look at this beautiful background. I think CG, were you the one that came up with this cool background thing? Looks awesome, man. I love this background. So thanks for sharing it with us. Speaking of those, again, tonight is open mic. You guys can come over here on the left-hand side, click on Vinny Jams Live. You guys will be able to talk with me here tonight. I'm going to start out with looking at some of the results from the room already. This week, we are going to quickly and briefly talk about the 40-day sections. Those of you guys who are brand new with us, make sure that you understand kind of what you're doing in your 120-day program. And then we're going to get into some high-level, hardcore, advanced-level training stuff. We are right in the middle of contract rollover week. If you have not rolled over your contracts, then you probably had a hard time trading today. We are rolling over from the 03s to the 06s. If you're on 02s from gold, you're rolling over to 04s. And of course, for crude oil, same thing. We've got quad witching happening this week. There's going to be a crap load, pardon my French, of volatility coming in this week. So this is going to be a huge opportunity, lots of opportunities coming in on the trade floors, and we take advantage of that. VIX up, ticks up, don't forget about that. The higher the VIX, the more ticks we have the opportunity to take home. Whenever they drop a bag, we go and we grab it. Let me crank that music down just a hair more. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. And let's get into some of that here this evening. If you guys, I think there's a lot of websites out there and a lot of mentors and Furu gurus out there telling you that they're the best and, oh, look at my real testimonials, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. You go on a website, what do you see? You see testimonials, right? And of course, they've got the little, disclaimer at the bottom that says, these results may be paid or blah, blah, blah. We're just kind of tired of that. So we took a different approach to real testimonials, and we just think results matter. So why not just show the results from our members? So let's start with that and just talk about how we do what we do here in the crew. So here is, and some days there are red days. I appreciate the fact that somebody's going out here and putting in their red day. There's a 63% profitable. That is a horrid profit factor. So there's probably something going on there with this one. We'll talk about this, but we had, member having some issues. It's all right. What do you say? Just keeping it real. Not every day will be a winning day, considering that I have won every day for the almost last 2 weeks in a row. Is positive. Small loss today. Not sure what was wrong with me, but I saw the exact opposite of what I wanted to take. Going to replay this day and see where I got wrong. This was today. Now remember, this is Monday activity. We are shifting into contract rollover. So if I'm kind of curious, did Extra Sister, did you make sure you rolled over your contracts? And of course, as the volatility starts to kick, you got to kind of be prepared for that. Or sometimes it might be best to take a Monday off. But I appreciate and applaud the fact that you kept that that loss small. I've seen some huge days out of you, so excellent work there. Here is a, what is this, 12K? Wow. Is this Whiskers, the legend himself? Profit factor 3.51, 58% profitable, but that profit factor, wow. Winners 3.5 times the size of losers, 12,300. Amazing stuff. We've got some setups here too. We're going to walk through some of these. What do you say here today? Finish today strong thanks to the cheat. Vinny, this first DCDM, so double cross, double move, set up beautifully. And then the white cross showed up. Vinny taught me to take half off. Great job. And then good thing I did listen to him, because you could see that it turned and stopped me out, but only half my position. Excellent work. Second DCM came up so fast that I missed the initial entry, but I left my white horizontal line there. Actually, I'm going to talk about that here in a moment, what he means by that, and entered when it came back to it. A lot of people are not doing this. How do I know this? Because I have not seen, there are a lot of charts empty of white horizontal lines that you guys should be doing, so we're going to talk about that now that he's having this discussion right here. And you guys can ask questions here tonight if you'd like to as well on that second try rule. Very, very helpful. I do it myself. I do recommend that you guys do that as well. and entered when it came back to it. This trade moved so fast, I wasn't able to use the measuring tool, and it hit the DCDM target. 12K for the day. Awesome tool training. Thank you, Vinny. Excellent stuff, sir. Let's take a peek at some of these. So double cross, double move. He's looking at, he had shorts favorable, and he's pointing to the algo matrix up here. Algo matrix is left-hand side. Main direction is going to be short. He's got a pink dot coming in up on the high time frame 7s. Looks down, and he has favorable direction to the short side as well. And then there is the double cross, double move coming in on the 2s on RTY. He's loading up the boat on this one. He should be having his stops right back behind here. There's also, I see a J-hook play in there as well. So he's going to the short side. He did say it came back up and stopped him. Let's take a peek. All right, so here he goes. As it starts to push down, he sees the white cross. He takes off half the position. That's smart, because what does this become in? What does this turn into? That turns into a cluster, right? You have to be careful on a cluster of a reversal. And that one ended up coming up and popping him out after behind that white cross there, right? Now, look what he drew though. You see this white horizontal line? This is the key right here. See that right there? Everybody needs to make sure you draw that white horizontal line, okay? If we push right back through that location, what am I doing? I'm loading back up for the 2-try rule, okay? 2-try, try, rule. Got it? 2-try rule, and we are trying. Got it? 2-try, and are we going the same size? No, we have to at least be +1, which is oftentimes going to be a +2 or so contracts, right? So let's see if he did it right here. He said, so we come up, we stop out. He comes back and he's got red. Was that the one? Looks like a different one. This is on NQ. Wait for it. And I might have read this wrong. Maybe it wasn't the same one. Just the initial one left on the white horizontal. What we did there on that one. We are on a different instrument though. So RTY, then this is on NQ. But he did draw his white horizontal line, so I'm proud of him for doing that. And maybe he didn't capture it. I think that's what he said. Maybe it happened so fast he didn't capture it. I'm not sure here. Let's look at this one. Double cross, double move, Mac V red, favorable direction. Looks good. Matrix is red. Yes, solid red. Full position plus. Oh, but this does look like one that came up on it. All right, so this is on NQ, but same scenario. Okay, so he's coming in, boom, he gets into the double cross, stops out almost immediately, right? So you enter in right here, short, where's the stop? Right back behind it, right there, bam. So, okay, quick stop out, but what do you see here? You see the horizontal line? He drew in the horizontal, didn't he? Look at that. So what he was saying is and then as he comes back through it, he re-enters again, and he gets the big money play there, and it looks like, oh, look at how it crossed. As he crossed, look what also came in, that delta. And I've told you guys before, you really want to, if you're trying to filter on double cross double moves, go back and watch the advanced level video. If you're going to filter, if you're going to only take, you're trying to take the absolute best of the best DCDMs, depending on you know, your risk profile, depending on the market conditions. If you've really got to hit a trade and you cannot risk one, all right, or you're trying to get heavy, you want to make sure that you also have a delta with you. Is there a delta here? No, nothing. Okay, almost a big fat nothing burger right here. So all we do is they pop stops first, and then they start farting around with it. Da, 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 da. But when we come back through that area, look what happens. Bam, the delta comes in. He also has double king timing. You find that surprising? I don't. So there's almost a crosshair right here, right? You got the white line here, this. You have the double king, crosshair, bam. Enter money, coming back in, replay that position, double cross, double move, landing it out. He said he didn't have time to draw it. Be careful on that. If you're gonna go ahead and draw the white horizontal for that one, I would go ahead and make sure you draw that out, because this this looks like it's actually extended pretty darn far. The measurement should have been from here to here. You should have 2 measurements. So on the critique of this, there should be a measurement from the white cross to the center, which should put it estimated somewhere right about here. Yeah, look at that, almost perfectly on that pivot right there. If you are looking at the double move from there to there, then you have a secondary one from the highest pivot, right? So we measure from the highest pivot. Let's do this one in orange. Okay, so highest pivot to center, and where is that going to leave us? Farther, right? And that may be what he's doing with his measurement here. And we're going to have that bigger target for the runner going to be farther out. Very, very good stuff there, and nice plays. Targets filled, and I think this is a different play. Yeah, this is late day. Yeah, this is 3 o'clock. And what time was this one? No, it's 3 o'clock as well. I feel like I'm missing something here. Okay, 1548. Oh, it's off. It's off. It's way over here. So 1548 is over here on the left. Yeah, but he's just saying that this thing just kept on dropping, kept on dropping. Yeah, so double cross double move is off the screen over there. Okay, makes sense. So this thing just continued to crush out though, and that's what I was saying when if he did the double measurements, which again, I'm saying this is a critique. He should have had the drawings there, but hey, he's becoming all pro here on this. So, but that would have been a pivot measure from here to here. Would have been, like I said, off the chart somewhere for him to hold out for the full position. So okay, so cool. Thanks for bearing with me while I was figuring it out. Some things, I like to solve problems. I don't like to leave things hanging. There's always I like to solve mysteries. 1400 profit factor 8. Holy cow! Winners almost 9 times the size of losers. 77% profitable on that one. What do we got here? Noily, we've got 700, 81% profitable. 2.5. These are great numbers. 2.5 profit factor, 81%. Absolutely crushing it. Excellent stuff here. Lost Code throwing down 5K for 72% profitable. Profit factor 1.48. Absolutely stellar. Oh, we got one in green. I'm liking it. 2K on the day, 9.9 profit factor. Wow, almost 10 times the size of losers for the winners there for Sty Guy. Amazing, amazing stuff. Awesome sauce. Oh, look at this. We got some color going on. We got a $13,000 day. What does EAS stand for? Who wants to help me out with this? What does EAS stand for?
EAS stands for Essential Add-on Suite. It's the ad you get when you do the Market Replay Download Manager.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Oh, because this is their cool little background animator. I see. It's lightly written over here. I got you. They got their own advertising on there. Hey, well, more power to them. This is the Market Replay Suite. Very cool. 13K there, and 80% profitable. Profit factor 3.9. Winners almost 4 times the size of losers. Just absolutely outstanding stuff there. Dr. Noise crushing it. You guys are the bomb.com. Now, at this point, let's see. We got a few people hanging out here with us, so I'm going to go open mic and go into the Ask of Any Questions section here. So anybody who is new with us that wanted a call, these are kind of replacing our one-on-ones. If there's anybody who wants to come on the microphone, have their one-on-one as they are shifting between our 40-day sections. So our training program is 120 days, and that's broken up into blocks of 40. So the first 40 days, you are spending in videos and taking notes. Middle 40 days, this is action. We are taking sim trades here in market replay and in live sim, and we are focused on quantity, all about the clicks, clicks, clicks. And then another cue for quality for the final 40, and these are going to be more filters and making sure that you learn how to smash the ball out of the park. Here we are focused on becoming a great loser, how to lose well. That is extremely important. A lot of people overlook being able to lose well. And over here, we are looking at how to win well. So anybody on the microphone that is shifting in from either first 40 days, middle 40 days, final 40 days, that want to get on a call here. I know it's super late. We usually do these a little bit earlier, but circumstances around things, we're not able to. Anybody on the microphone here tonight? No newbies? That's all right. So we'll pass on that one, but if anybody wants to, anytime that you've seen the videos where, come on and get our one-on-one calls, we are substituting those. It's just taking up too much of my time where I'm getting all the individual calls. We've got so many people joining into our program and things now. So we'll come out here and we'll do these open mic nights on Monday nights. And, it's a lot of repeat. I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell other users. I have done one-on-ones for a very, very long time, over the last 6 years. And I kind of know where all the gotchas are. So I can help you avoid a lot of those as well. Let's see, I'm hearing somebody's got their hair dryer going. Is that you, Simba? He's drying his lion mane. What's up, Clayton?
Hey, how are you doing?
Very good. How are you, sir?
Just good. Just good. Well, I'm just shifting from the first 4 days to the second one. Now I'm focusing on quantities. That's the main point for now. And I'm facing some, not big issues, obviously, but I have to try to adjust my style to make the stops work. What it is the following. One of the main things that I noticed that we have to, simply forget about everything that we have done before and focus on this new style of trading. The problem I'm facing is now I have my stops a little bit larger than it was before this 4 days. Before this 4 days, I have set a stop of 15 ticks. And now I'm using 25 ticks, but I'm facing problems to, sometimes I see that the stop reaches the area that I should stop manually, but I keep letting it go, and sometimes it almost reached the 25 ticks stops. So that's the only point I'm facing right now, because before what I was doing is if the trade stops, I tried to use the 2 times try, the second time entry, and normally it goes really well. But now that I'm trying to make to manage the stops, I'm facing a little bit of trouble to make it happen. But let's take in consideration that today is my second day on the 4 days. Do you have any kind of tip to help me out on that?
Yeah, so let me just make sure I know which 40 days you're going into. So let me back up. So you're going in, you have finished all of the first 40. You're going into the second 40. Is that correct?
That's it, exactly.
Okay. Let me make sure you actually, because I think you're relatively new. You started with us fairly recently, correct?
Yeah, you are right. I started on February the 2nd.
Okay. So I just want to make sure. So were you? Did you complete the full 170 videos?
Yes, sir. I am. What I do? I'm dedicating full time to that. So yes, I have completed.
Okay.
A lot of videos, and there's more than that, to tell you the truth.
Very good. So okay, so do me a favor real quick. Have you posted a picture of your setup yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay, let's take a peek at that. So can you post that into the public? Or tell me where it is.
Yes, I can do it again. Well, I have public in the, let me see, setups. There is let me find setups here. So we'll find mine. I think that mine was the last one.
There we go. I found it. Okay, so you've got
That's
a 43. Fine. You got a 43, and you got yours over there on the left. Okay, this is great. So everything's looking real nice here. You got a good firm foundation here. This is good. Now, as far as your, so right now in the middle 40 days, you need to be focused on quantity, right? I just want you clicking. So I can say that your very first thing is, I think right now you're already, I can tell you are focused on winning. Okay, this is a mistake. You are not here to focus on winning right now. Okay. You are stuck right now in I want to win mindset. Okay, I'm going to talk about my kids real quick. Okay, let me back up. Do you have kids?
Yes, I do. I have a daughter, 10 years old.
So you know kids, right? So when your daughter was real young, or maybe she still is, there comes a phase, like even right now, like my son Mikey is big time into winning. Okay. Like he wants to, if we're racing up the stairs, right? It doesn't matter if I beat him up the stairs, he's winning, right? His sister, she's bigger, she's 10 years old, double his age, whatever. And they're running up the stairs, he gets mad if he doesn't win. Okay. So would you say that my son is mature, or would you say he's immature?
No, in this case, he's immature in my point of view, obviously.
Right? So right now, I want to point this out to you. I'm going to beat you up a bit to go, listen, like you're like a 5-year-old wanting to win all the time right now because you want to run up the stairs and you want to win. Okay, that's dumb. Okay, at some point, like just with me, I run up the stairs and I'm going to let my son win. Right, I'm not focused on winning because I know what's better is to go ahead and take the loss. Right, like let your son win a few times. You need to get into a mindset right now where winning is not a thing. Okay, this is not a reward to you for winning a trade. Your focus right now is losing well. Okay, like this is just like teaching our kids. Okay, you're gonna have to teach your kid how to lose well, right? And if you're stuck in this phase up here, and again, a lot of people, I mean, look, there's there are people in life that this is not possible. Okay, but my goal here is to make sure that you can. Okay, you are going to need to lose well. So let's talk about the four entry types that you are looking to do. So as far as you went through the videos and things, what are your top 4 in your list, or 3 or 4? Most people are choosing 4 now, but what are your strategy setups?
Yeah, well, I love the sharks. So mainly I'm doing everything on sharks. But I combine sharks with dot and with crosses. So doesn't matter if it's a shark back or a shark tail. Once it has a cross or a dot, that's my set. And also HMDs. So that's the second one, let's say. And I do use a lot of headshots as well. And the main reason that I have chose for my choice, right, it was because all those sets, you have a really clear and well positioned stop. So once it loses the crosses or the dots, I know that there is my stop. So my main point, and it was a problem that I had before, right? And my main issue always was the stop. I want to have a really clear stop area. So I know that when it loses that area, there is time to get out of that operation and wait for the next one. Those are the 4 ones that I have chosen.
Yes. So let's talk about these. So these have a very specific type around them. There's no J hooks in here. There's no turtles and stuff like that. So these are very strong stop setups. Okay. So sharks, very well defined. HMD, very well defined. PRZ cross, very well defined. Headshots, very well defined. Almost all these. Well, let me ask on HMD. If you have an HMD and the dot breaks, where's the stop on an HMD? Let me just pop quiz and make sure you know where that is first.
Well, always my stop is always the dot. Always. If it breaks the dot, I have stopped it. That's
very good. Okay, good. So some people get that wrong, so I wanted to pop on that one. The rest of these are pretty straightforward. So let's talk about how these stops need to be played, and I'm going to give you some advice as far as taking these. Almost every single one of these is all about the cross. Let me see if I can make these nice and straight. I'll use my shift key here, and we'll have some perfectly straight. There we go. So you are using cross entry stops for the majority of almost all your plays, okay? So you know that there should be an imaginary stop on both sides of the cross, no matter which direction that you are firing, right? Which means that on your entries are going to be somewhere, you know, sometimes they're a little bit high, low, but you are going to be trying to hit as close to the center as possible on entry execution on any setup, on anything with a cross, whether that is a headshot, if it's a PRZ cross, or, you know, shark back, etc., right? So, but you are saying that you are having a hard time closing out your position. You are letting it go to a hard stop. Now, everybody should know, like, hard stop, and I was changing colors here on us, but we have a hard stop somewhere. It's going to be outside the neighborhood of this section here on any cross entry setup, right? And whether you have it at 15 or 25, it really does not matter. Right now, high volatility action, you really need to have this, you know, back to give yourself a little bit more room for you to maneuver, and you're going to be able to add 2 positions right now. That's my personal opinion. However, if you are really struggling with it, keep it at 15 so that you've got that hard stop. I would rather you not get into big bad positions. But either one of these, it's up to you on how you choose which one those are going to be. But what you cannot do is have that mental, you know, scenario where you think that you can let the stop get hit. Like, this is a big no-no, right? One of my videos, I really hit in on this, and in the tip right now is to, this stop should never get hit, okay? You just need to protect this like it's your daughter, like it's your spouse, like it is something extremely important to you. Do not let price come back here and touch this stop. You close out the position by pressing the close button, okay? And you are in the middle 40 days. The main thing that you should be focusing on in order to be a good loser, listen, write this down, right? You need to become a good loser, right? You need to become the champion. It's like trying to teach your kid how to be a good loser. Like, let your dog, you know, let your sister win, right? Like, I gotta teach Mikey, like, let your sister win. Your sister's gonna win sometimes, you know, or I have to even teach my daughter. My daughter's still, you know, she's 10, she wants to win too, okay? But she has learned, you know, slowly learning, okay, let my brother win a few times so he can not get upset before he goes to bed, blah, blah, you know, this kind of stuff. So we let them win. But you need to be in control of when you win and when you lose. But right now, you got to practice being a good loser. Because right now, you know, you're not, and you're admitting, you know, that you're not, and that's okay. But you have got to be relentless during this time period for 40 days to, I mean, I don't care what you want. This is, you are a 5-year-old immature trader right now, okay? You are, I want to win, boo-hoo. Now embarrass yourself enough to stop it, okay? Stop it. And by stop it, I literally mean when we cross this threshold, close the button, okay? And then give yourself a baba, all right? Whatever your baba is. If you need to, you know, get yourself a piece of candy, like over by your desk, whatever you got to do to reward yourself for when you press that close button at the proper time, congratulations. Because if I'm telling you, if you don't do this, you cannot be a good loser, then you are not going to be a good winner, right? Or you may be a winner, but you are not going to be a great winner. It is extremely important during this time period to close the position when we hit here, okay? And remember, a couple of things that will help you with this is because it's our speed, okay? I've said this before, a lot of other trading systems that are out there, you're sitting at your desk all dang day long and you are hoping you get one setup or one layout or whatever, and you have to make that trade work almost. Here, we do not. We do not. If one trade fails, so what? We got another one coming up maybe in a few more minutes, right? 3, 10 more minutes or so, you're going to get another one. So you need to satisfy your craving for winning with going, I don't care about losing because I'm going to get another one here in just a moment, right? This is a video game. We're approaching it like a video game. You've got, you know, playing Mario Brothers. You just need to get to the end of the level, and you've got 5 lives to work with and not sweating any single one of them, all right? That's one. Your other one is the 2-try rule, okay? You really need to focus on this during this period, all right? I'm telling you, if you do not practice these, and this goes for everybody, not just you, this is everybody here, that's why we will talk about these things. If you are not focusing on these things right now, getting these mechanics right, then, I mean, the other stuff falls apart, okay? I mean, we have great trade setups, and they're gonna work out well for you, but it's the difference between the guy making a few $100s a day and the guy making a few $1,000s a day when you get these mechanics down correctly, all right? So 2-try rule, if you stop out, so what? And then you also get to practice your +1 rule, right? So tell me about +1. Are you already got that under your belt?
Yes, I do. Well, but obviously, the plus one, only the after the 5 ones, if I'm green, I go for the next one. That's it.
Okay, so well, let's. I mean, I want to make sure you understand the plus one. So on a 2 try, if for the first time I went 2 contracts long, okay, and I got stopped out, boom. On the next play, as we cross back through this location, if I'm going to do the 2 try rule, because these are mechanics right now, again, I'm working on mechanics. You got to stop focusing on the trade setups. You know these, right? I don't have to. It's not rocket science. An HMD is an HMD. A PRZ cross, a shark back. Headshots, they're defined, right? There's no like guessing about it, all right? It is all this right here. This is the difference now, is are you going to execute well with it? This is the difference, okay? You have to focus on this, not the trade setup. The trade setup does not matter. Stop trying to win during this time period. You need to focus on losing well. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Now plus one. So if I went in 2 contracts the first time, can I go in 2 contracts the second time?
No, you have it always to have plus one. That's it. Now I got what you. Yeah, now I got what you have asked. Obviously, when in the 2 try rule, the second time I enter in the operation, I have to enter with plus one contracts. Yeah, that's it, and I do that for sure. I do that.
All right, good. So that's the main thing. But as far as closing these positions out, you need to, I would say, reward yourself. Okay, applaud yourself when you're closing out well. Looking at your profit factor, I don't care, even if you have a losing day, but your profit factor is still where it's supposed to be, then you've done a good job. During this period of time, this middle 40 days, it is all about losing well and executing and closing out those positions and practicing hitting that second try. And it's really about clicking fast too. Like this whole mechanic around your layout at your desk, okay? This is about you becoming one with your layout, one with your setup, okay? You've got a nice clean layout here. You got your spacing, your visibility is all good. I can tell from this desk, I would say you want to bring this in. I would slide this whole thing forward slightly. This layout is going to cause you to lean in a little bit. You are going to want to bring this forward some. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay, it's too far back at the back of your desk. I would bring this in a bit. Okay. For this size, it looks like this is a 43.
It's a 43.
Okay, yeah. If this is a 55, this would be fine, but this is a 43. I can tell here. You want to bring that in closer to you for you to be able to see properly and to be able to punch in the way that you need to be punching. Okay, so a couple little tips on that. But right now, it is all about the clicks right here, executing those well, because that will that'll translate later when you start executing on filtering and doing all the things that maybe mentally you're trying to do right now. But that's my encouragement around that, and hopefully that's helpful to you.
Okay. No, it makes a lot of sense. I will do that.
Yeah, so during this middle 40 days, just click as much as possible here. Again, we're not really focused on the winners. I want to focus on losing well. In the final 40 days, we'll start working on crushing it and pushing that ball out the park. Okay?
Fantastic.
All right. Thanks for the time on that, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir.
You got it. All right. Anyone else going into the final 40 days? Do we have any folks transitioning into final 40 days on the mic tonight? No final 40s?
I'm transitioning from the final 40 days to the bird left the home or the nest, you say, right?
So say that one more time.
No, yeah, that I'm actually transitioning from. I'm sorry, I am in my car, but I was saying that I'm transitioning from the last 40 days to the bird has left the nest. Okay,
so you're going live.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So are you going through the small account challenge?
I only did a day or two, but after after I think it was Thursday's live when you saw one of my trades, I've actually held it back for at least 2 more weeks so I can work on entry, because that's what you were criticizing, that I was slow on the entry.
Okay. So before you are transitioning live, you really do need to go through my entire small account challenge. So let me back up. Have you been through the whole small account challenge before already? And you're saying you're doing it again? Or it sounded like that's what I heard, but maybe I'm missing it.
Yeah, no. I said that I did a few days, but I'm going to start and do it like how you said the first, I believe, week or two with YouTube on the background and, just taking the trades with you for the first, I think you said, week or two of the small account challenge. I've reached, I believe, episode 55 on the small account challenge by myself, just watching it on the weekends.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean that's my encouragement for before you go live. You need to be, hearing me walk through the things that I'm seeing in real time, and your brain should be kind of clicking on that as well. Like when I'm saying things, you should be like, there shouldn't be any surprises, right? You're like, oh yeah, I totally see what he's seeing there, and you should be, executing side by side in the same way. Mechanically speaking, how is that working out now? I know you're in your car here, so I can't. Let me see if I can find your setup here real quick. Have you posted a picture of your layout in computer setups?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have.
Okay. Describe for me what your layout is, because I may or may not be able to find it in here.
No worries, my man. It's a 55-inch with a 27 vertical.
Okay. Oh, okay. So one on the left kind of thing?
Yeah.
All right. So I got to set up here like yours. Okay. So, and do you have it laid out with the 4 instruments on your main 55?
Of course, yes.
Beautiful.
Hey, Vinny, I just posted it in public.
Oh, thank you, sir.
The link,
all right.
the link to it.
Thank you, sir. And we pop over and... Okay. Here we go. Okay. Did you turn your left one vertical already?
Apologize. Yes, I did. Yeah. The left monitor is vertical. Yes.
Okay. Cool. So that's the first thing I was gonna say. First thing I would say is, try to get that thing into portrait mode and bring your eyes so you don't have to look down and to the left as far, and putting everything right in front of you. Okay. You got a good distance here. You're gonna be able to see everything very clearly on a layout like this. So yeah, I can say your foundation's looking pretty good. Yeah, I remember a few of your trade setups. You're a bit behind on those. Did you know why you were behind on those? Did you have kind of reasoning? What is your, do you know you're mentally hesitating on those, or what's your, I don't know, I hate to say the word excuse because it sounds like a bad word, but what's your excuse for being behind on all those entries?
Yeah, I actually did a little bit of digging myself after that live and did some market replays, and what I found out was that, yes, it's just like you said, I was hesitating a little bit. My brain was processing and I was doubting myself, and so huge psychology issue, and I just said, you're gonna take that trade, everything lines up, and that's it. And like you said today, you touched on the second retry entry, which is very, very important for us to have in mind.
Yeah, that way, because that eliminates that hesitation. I'll say that, I think you kind of picked it up, right? The hesitation goes away when you know that, well, it's not a big deal. If I lose it on the first one, it's not a big deal. I can retry, right? So, to eliminate that hesitation, if I can type right, remembering that, don't sweat it. Don't sweat a trade. But the other thing is, some people are over focusing on too many layouts. So you're coming in your final 40 days right now. You've seen a lot of trade setups and a lot of trade layouts. Are you pinpointed down to your 3 or 4, or are you at a spot where you're just I don't know, whatever comes and whatever I see, I'm gonna recognize one of the layouts and I'm gonna press the button? I'm afraid you're in that spot, I'll be honest.
No, yeah, definitely. No, basically, it's DCDM. That's, I'm going to be honest, at the first time I was afraid of DCDM. I was like, no, I can't do it. But I'm loving the DCDM headshots, PRZ crosses, and HMDs. Those are my bread and butter.
Okay. So, so every single one of those is very specific, and except for, so the only one that you really can't lay out ahead of time is probably headshot. Okay, headshot is very much a reaction style setup and layout, unless it's already, if you got your finger on the trigger because of timing. So one of the things that I'll talk about with that is focused on those timing lines, right? How good are you right now? Would you say that you are doing a pretty good job at looking to see when price is approaching the large and king timing? How are you feeling around, like, as price is coming in to that section? Are you kind of going, okay, I got like 1 or 2 more bars before I hit large, and then as we start to traverse through that, as we're coming up, you're like, okay, I got about 2 more bars still, pink timing, king timing, okay, I'm ready, and you're boom. Are you on it, or are you? Because I'll be honest, I'm looking at your trade layouts, and it looks like to me like you are a reaction player, but not in the good way. You're just going like looking around and looking around, and then you're like, oh, there's one, and you're hitting that. That does not work, right? We talked about that.
Yes. So actually, I'm going to be honest, that's something that I've never thought about myself. But I was going to comment to you that how I have my layout now that's only showing the large and king timing.
Okay.
My attention just focus on when price is reacting, or if I hear noises with the audio box on the king or large, and if I see a red fish or blue fish. Red fish, blue fish, I'm sorry. Red fish, blue fish.
Okay, but those are not your strategy entries. So help me out a little bit more on, so we're back to square one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. I just realized that I just gave you like a blank answer to that. Yes, I am reactionary. I am going to look to myself if it's in the bad way, like you're saying, but I do react on those 2 lines, and that's it.
Okay. So what you're going to be doing though on these, so I want to try to help you out, is, you need to, first of all, you need to be narrowing down into what instrument you're going to be trading. Because I think right now, maybe on your layout, if you've got this nice, beautiful layout here, but, well, I can't see because you have a picture of my video up here. Tell me what's on the bottom left on your main screen.
Bottom left, it's RTY.
Okay, RTY, and what's on the bottom right?
Bottom right, it's YM.
Okay, so those are your 2 mains, correct? Those should be your absolute mains, right? Yes?
I have a little bit to tell you there. I'm actually looking, and it's more of ES and RTY.
Yeah, and I've noticed that with you because I saw a lot of your trades are coming in on ES. Is ES at the top right?
Top left.
Oh, okay, so that's in a different spot as well. Okay, so NQ is at the top right for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so in general, I have these layouts, for a reason for everybody, and this is, well, okay. I can't really help people when they don't do what I tell them to do. Like, I can't, it's hard for me to, talk with people to understand, because I don't understand it. Like, I'm a person that, like, if I know that there's an ideal and I know there's the best thing, like, I'm the guy who I'll just do whatever the best is. I don't understand people, no offense, but to yourself, like, you should be offended that you have 0 skills to beat me, and I tell you exactly how you should be doing it, and you won't do it. I don't get that. Okay, I think that's stupid. I don't understand that kind of mindset. You need to ask yourself internally why it is. If you have I don't know, mommy daddy issues where you're like, you have to have something to tell you in life, or you got to have control. It's an OCD complex thing where you're like, well, I got to lay my fork in a certain way and whatnot. I am telling you, this is not the place. Okay, if I tell you to lay your layout properly, then lay your layout properly. Understand? Or do me a favor and please don't ask me for help. I want you to succeed, but if you are not going to succeed, I don't even want you pressing the buttons, right? I want you to succeed. So do what I ask you to do and lay out properly the way that I have it laid out for you so that you don't have these problems, okay? You're being tempted into trades that you shouldn't be taking, understand? And you need to be focused on these bottom 2. These should always be your mains, all right? This makes more sense now why I kept seeing you like so far behind all these entries. You aren't being able to sit right here on these 2. These should be your bread and butters right here, left and right. And then on that timing line, as those timing lines are approaching, you watch. You've got your eyes on the prize, on those 2. You should be dead set focused on the 2 right down here at the bottom. And as that approaches a larger king timing, you should be instantaneously, you should know, like, what am I going to see? Am I seeing a dot? Am I seeing a cross? And you are bam, bam, bam. And you are entering in on that position, and you're entering into it quickly. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, be in on it. All right. So do me a favor, tomorrow I know you're driving around your car, or tonight, whenever you can, take another picture of, let's see the full layout, where you got it, because this is an old picture here, okay? So show us a picture of what you've got with your charts and everything laid out. Let's make sure there's no other issues there with it. I think you might have had a little bit of a problem with the zoom level as well. I think you're too zoomed in. I had to go back and look, but let's make sure that you're all zoomed in properly. Because the last thing I want is you going live and then wrecking yourself, you know, from something, some silly stuff like that, right? Silly small stuff. Let's get all the small stuff out the way. Make sense? Okay.
Yes, sir. As soon as I get to the house, I'm gonna post it in the main chat. So whenever you see it.
And ES should definitely not be one of those, because I think I saw you trading a lot of the ES. And look, this goes for everybody. I'm telling everybody here. Everybody's like, well, I've been trading ES. I just like ES. I just like ES. Why? What is y'all's obsession with like an instrument? It literally has nothing to do. You are here to make money. You are not here to be like, oh, I'm an ES trader. Ooh, ooh. Listen, folks, that's not something you're going to put on your resume one day, or you're going to go out on a date with somebody and be like, oh, you're an ES trader, or you're a NASDAQ trader. Oh, well, I don't like you as much because there is no gusto in what you're trading. Nobody gives a rat's fart what instrument you're trading. Trade the thing that is moving at the proper speed and location, right? All right, that goes for everybody, not just you. All right, let's see. But ICT is the greatest. Yeah. All right, so, but okay, I do want to be very specific. You're in your final 2 weeks. I also want to talk about this. When I said the last 2 weeks, I do not mean, folks, look, I'm telling you. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Understand what I say, not what you think I say, okay? There's some phrase out there that says, I am responsible for what I say, not from what you understood, okay? But if you understood that I said to do my 2 weeks, okay, weeks 1 and 2 of the small account challenge, no, that is not true. False. I said for 2 weeks, trade with me in my small account challenge, meaning 2 weeks of your time. Now, that doesn't mean trade, okay, so Vinny took 1 day. Okay, listen, we have market replay, right? We have this magical thing called market replay. Oops. Okay, and I only trade, 60 to 90 minutes, right? And most of them were 60-minute days, okay? So how many 60-minute days can you trade in a day? Well, it depends. I mean, some people who, somebody earlier said that they're doing this full time, so, he can trade 8 of my days in a row. But at least for 2 weeks, you should be focused on trading as much of my small account challenge as you possibly can. I did not say to trade my week 1 and week 2. Does everybody get that? All right, Lost Code didn't get it, but listen, bro, I would also suggest this. Here's what you're going to do here tonight. You understand? Are you still listening, Lost Code? You still on the mic?
Yeah.
You're going to change your profile name. All right, I am sick of looking at your stupid profile name that says Lost Code, okay? It implies that you're lost, and I'm tired of thinking about you as being the lost kid in my crew. You understand? I want you to change your name. I want you to think of something clever, think of it overnight, maybe rest on it, pray about it, but you come back here and you rename yourself, okay? Now, if you don't think names matter, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys a few stories. Number 1, let's talk about a Bible story, then I'm gonna tell you guys about a personal story, okay? A Bible story, God changed people's names. Did y'all know that? Names are so important to not call yourself something stupid, okay? Because whatever you are called, it actually becomes that, right? This happens in life. There's a lot of people who have latched onto these biblical principles and taken them outside of biblical stuff, which it still works. It's the amazing thing about it, is because God created those things to happen and pushing things into existence that come out of your mouth. Now, your mind, your thoughts, your words all matter, okay? So does your name. So you're no longer calling yourself Lost Code. From this time forward, okay, you might want to call yourself Found Code. I don't care, right? But you're not calling yourself Lost and Found anymore. You get me? You are found. You are done with that old stuff. Now you have found the answer, and you are going to have a better name, right? I don't know what it is. I'm not going to name it for you, although God did in the past. He would name people. He changed a name from Abram to Abraham. He changed Sarai to Sarah. There were names changed all the time. There was a Saul to a Paul, and these names mattered, right? And I'm gonna tell you, you rename yourself and stop calling yourself Lost Code, okay? You're not lost. Stop telling yourself you're lost, and change your profile pic. Your profile picture has a guy with no eyeballs, right? Like his eyeballs are popped out. And I don't care if it's an NFP that you made 10 bucks on from your mom. I don't give a shit. Get that thing out of there. I do not want to see your crappy Lost Code profile picture again. Are we good?
We're good.
All right. So God changed people's names, and here's another one. If you don't think that names matter, I had a cousin of mine growing up, and my cousin, it was always weird. Okay, my mom and her sister, they were off and on, getting along, didn't get along, and whatnot. But I always noticed this. Okay, my cousin, I won't say names, but my cousin was a beautiful little girl, okay, beautiful blonde little girl, fun times, whatnot. And I remember like seeing the pictures of her now, back then. When I see the pictures of her now, okay, something happened to her. Okay, you have to like ask yourself, like, dude, how do you go from looking like that to looking like this? And I'll tell you what it was. Okay, her mom, her entire life, called her rat. Now I don't understand this. Okay, now mind you, you know, my wife, my aunt on my mom's side, like she literally did some prison time for drug deals and stuff like this. So, you know, there were things going on there. Okay, but this word right here, okay. She's, again, beautiful blonde little girl, but her mom called her rat all the time. Hey rat, come here. Hey rat, hey rat. And it was weird. We'd go to my grandma's house and I hear, you know, her calling and saying, hey rat, come here rat, come here rat. I'm like, it's really weird, okay? My mom, I still remember when we were, you know, kind of about 10, 12, 13, I still could remember my mom got in a fight with my aunt at my grandma's house around Thanksgiving. So I said, why do you keep calling her kid rat, whatever? And she, I forget what her nickname was for me. It was like tiny something, tiny head or tiny hat. I don't know, something like this. I remember it had tiny in it, and I didn't understand like what that was. And maybe it's because I was real skinny. I don't know what it was, but it was basically she would call me tiny tart or tiny nut or something. So now, did I turn out tiny? I don't think so, but that's a whole. I know all my trolls are like, oh yeah, just call him Tiny Tim or whatever. But this rat thing, something happened, okay? I'll be honest, like my cousin, you know, and I hope she never comes back and, you know, watches this video. I'm pretty sure like we're fairly estranged on that side of the family as it is right now. And, you know, but my aunt always called her rat, and y'all, she looks like a rat to this day. And I feel really bad. Like, she destroyed her own daughter by the words that came out of her mouth because she constantly called her rat. And I cannot get it out of my head that I literally saw her go from a beautiful blonde little girl into like something that is honestly, y'all, she is hard to look at, okay? And there's a personal story, and I'm telling you, words matter. This is what I'm telling you, words matter. What you say, what you speak into existence. There's a passage in scripture in Proverbs that says, the power of life and death is in the tongue, all right? So be careful in the way that you wield it, and wield it well, okay? Now, I know you guys are like, well, Vinny, you're always beating up on people. Listen, I am encouraging you and driving you to where you need to be, right? My beat up on you is going to be, you know, minutes at a time. And yes, it might last forever, but that's the whole point, is I want you to change. And I love you enough to tell you to do the right thing. I love you enough to beat you up and punish you and discipline you to get you to the place you need to be, all right? But I will not sit around and call you rat all the time, because I don't want you to do that. I want to call you successful. I want to call you powerful. I want to call you intelligent, all right? So don't let me come back in here and see you continuously, for you yourself, calling yourself Lost Code. Are we good?
We're good, yeah.
Beautiful. All right, man, come up with another name. And if anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, here's what I'm talking about. The poor guy, okay? Look, here is Lost Code. Everybody understand what I'm saying? This bothers me. He looks like some weirdo. He's got his tongue sticking out. Looks like he's missing some teeth, and he's got no eyeballs, all right? Does that sound like the kind of person you want to be and you want to call yourself lost? I don't think so. All right. So tomorrow you are a new man, you are a new person, and you will become one of the best. And I speak these things into existence over you, my friend. All right, my friend. Drive safe. You still driving?
Yeah. I actually just stopped at a gas station right now to like analyze what you were saying.
Beautiful.
Yeah, actually, even though, you know, I have nits and things that I need to work, I actually wanted to also, even though all of that, I wanted to personally thank you, because I came from ICT. So coming every day to take trades, I don't have that anxiety anymore. Like, I'm not afraid of
no more
markets.
Anxiety like ICT, right?
You know, so thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful, brother. Beautiful. Yeah, I saw somebody posting some Rambo stuff and some warrior stuff. You want to be call yourself Rambo, dude? I'm cool with that too. But whatever you want to call yourself, man. But like, it's warrior time, brother. You're a warrior. Let's go.
Thank you. You
got it, brother. All right. Let's see. What's our time here? We're at 54 minutes. We got 6 more minutes. Let's do some open mic. I'm going to go through Ask Vinny questions. Anybody else have any questions on the microphone? We got an open mic there. If not, I'm going to pop in here and grab some Ask Vinny question section.
Hey, Vinny?
Yes.
Oh.
Danny, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Very good, sir.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you again.
Very good.
Actually, I'm entering my final 40 days. I'm like 5 days in.
Okay.
So I am not able to post any screenshots because I'm getting used to the delta and just going back through the lessons 1 to 6.
Okay. Okay,
So
but
do you have
so back
any-
up as far as your middle 40 days. I mean, you feel like you got a lot of clicks in. You understand you're pulling your closes. You're very quick on the draw to hit your closes. Or how are you feeling? Like, do you feel like you got through that section? Like you were able to keep your stops small, or are you still at a spot where you're hesitating on that and not closing out your positions quickly? How are your stops doing on the middle 40 days?
Yeah, my stops are good, like at an average of 7 to 8 ticks. And yes, close button is my friend.
Okay, very good. So you don't have any issues with that. So you're ready to go into the final 40 days here, where we're going to focus more on. Now, you mentioned Delta for some reason. So tell me why all of a sudden Delta is new to you, but it wasn't there before.
No, I did not have the lifetime package, so I was not practicing with the delta. Now that with the new update, I have the delta. I'm just,
Oh, I got you, because the new update. I forgot. Yeah, so we've released it, and now you see Delta, right? So that should be enhancing your positions. These are things like particularly, ready up, right? So anybody who is new with us on those deltas, right? Well, one of my favorite things about the deltas is when you get a double. So you get a double delta, and that literally is saying, okay, ready up, right? What does that mean? That means we are taking the next play, right? And I'm not going to go toe in the water. Usually, if I get that ready up, I'm automatically thinking quarter position, half position minimum, right?
Yeah.
As far as your deltas, how has that changed what you've done so far? Are you kind of still getting used to it? Do you feel like you kind of maybe need to step back a little bit, maybe hop back into the middle 40 days for a little bit and execute on those? I don't think that you would because of Delta, because I think a Delta should technically be a filter. Okay, this is a filter mechanism, so I think that will apply very well to the final 40 days, but what are your thoughts around that?
I would say I would give it another go for a week, so that I could practice more on the entries, because it actually enhances the charts, helps filter a lot.
Okay. So, you're pretty comfortable getting into the final 40 days. Do you have specific questions around what we're doing here, or I can give you a overall big picture layout, or what are your what's your plan going into the final 40 days?
Just as you have mentioned in the videos, practicing on the data of January, July, and October from the past 3 years. Then in the last 2 weeks, I will do the SAC, a small account challenge. As of now, I'm just going through the market replay. I'm doing market replay and filtering.
Perfect. Yeah. So in the final 40 days, there we are focusing on those 5 trades. So as far as your paper, let me see. Do you have can you point me to a picture of your layout real quick? And do you have a vision boarding paper?
No, I don't. I have it, but I don't use it.
Okay. So we want to try to. Well, I think I remember your desk space is a little cramped, correct?
Yes, I have one 27-inch monitor and a smaller one.
And a smaller one, right? Yeah, so I know your space is a little bit tight there. Is there any way that you can get one of those in front of you, or how are you going to track your 5 trades and kind of get yourself to that, or have you been practicing that already so you're going to be okay? Because I'll be honest, like even myself, I have a hard time. You might have even watched me in my small account challenge where like I lost track of like, oh shoot, what trade was that? So I'm like, I think I was trade 3. Like that happens because you need to have that in front of you. In gauging, it's not really about the count of the trades. It's not going to change your P&L because, that's, I don't know, 5 trades or 3 trades. But it is going to change your psychology of where you are in the ticket and how big should you be getting on the next play should automatically. You should have like a register of trades 3, 4, and 5 should be a certain size to you, depending on your account size. But in trades 1 and 2, okay, if you're in trade 1 and 2, you're like, toe in the water, quarter position for those first 2. Yeah. So that's important. So what are your thoughts around that? How are you playing that without the paper in front of you?
Actually, I did not do it that way.
Okay.
So from now on, I will practice that. Should I also be using the time, like the time on the charts, uh, like time of day?
Okay.
To
So your question, well, there's multi. Be more specific about your question there. So are you asking about what time of day you should be trading?
No, like when I'm usually doing market replays, so we have the times, right? On like the time.
Okay, so let me back up. What time of day? Well, let me back up. Are you going to be doing full time trading, or are you going to be working a job and doing this on the side? Well, and then what time are you coming to the desk? You do have to think, what time will you be trading? So I'll pull up the exclamation mark sessions. All right. So in sessions, what is going to be your primary time, or are you going to be doing 2 sessions a day? What's your play? Because you're in India, correct?
Yes.
So you're on the other side of the world. So you have you got a lot of opportunities depending on how you're gonna schedule your life. How are you planning? How do you picture yourself like sitting down trading live?
So I will do the first morning session, and
The first
because
morning
now
session?
it is the and now because it is the daylight saving times, I can also push through the afternoon session as well.
Okay, so are you planning on trading 2 sessions a day?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I mean, you've got all the freedom. You got all the freedom in the world, right? So as far as your middle 40 days when you were practicing everything, like, did you find you had an advantage? Like when you looked at your time of day stuff did you find that you did better during the beast mode hour at all, or was it pretty consistent that you did good in the mornings and the afternoons? What have you seen so far?
I was just doing market replay, so I did not focus on the time much.
You didn't focus on it very much? What do you mean?
I am asking, sorry to make it confusing, but I'm doing it on 10x or 6x speed, right? So
Okay.
should I focus on the time, like the real time which came through when?
Oh, okay. Oh, I
You
got
know,
you. Speed. I got you. You're saying speed, right? Okay. Yes and no. So there's not a really big emphasis on trading in that speed. That really is not very key. I've shown before that even myself, still to this day, I won't want to knock on wood here, that anytime I have done market replay the day before or the day of, I have yet to have a losing day. Now, and do I play market replay at 1x speed? No, I don't. I've never done that. I've never been a person like, oh, play it at 1, unless it's NASDAQ, and NASDAQ was super moving, moving so fast that I'm practicing on the NASDAQ. All that really matters is your executions. If you can execute quick, which I know you, man, like you're my go-to for all short keys, right? You're a short key nut. You always come and tell me all the cool short keys for different things. So I know that you're very fast, and I think you're going to be very good at this. And you've got gaming technique and you've got gaming speed all over you. So how are you feeling with the speed? I mean, is 10x like too fast for you? I mean, I've seen you execute quite well, and if that was at 10x speed, I mean, it looked to me to be pretty darn good, right? I feel like once you have been running at 10x, slowing down is easy, right? Now you're running at 1x. To me, it just feels like now everything's in slow motion, like somebody you've been hitting 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, and then somebody throws a watermelon, right? You're not going to miss it, kind of thing. That's my thought on it. What are your feelings on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. In 10x speed, you actually, as it's supposed to be, more click, click, click.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting used to that is kind of an advantage, I would say.
Yeah, I don't see any advantage or disadvantage in speeding up or slowing down. As long as you can execute and you can think, well, if you are just following up and the same, I'll just use the same piece of advice on the last conversation we had, was when you have the large and king timings, right? I don't care how fast they approach those, but that, I mean, this is like, for the ICT students that they just, I don't know, they like to use the word kill all the time. So kill zone. All right, this is our kill zone, right? If something lands inside this area, right? Anywhere, right here, I don't care. This whole section. And then this extends out farther if there's no other lines, right? The king size, do that in pink almost. Okay. this king zone, you know, whatever lands in here, like these are all kill zones, right? As it approaches this time. So how fast you do it, if you're doing at 10x speed, if you're doing at 1x speed, it really does not matter to me, right? The setup is still going to come the same, whether it's, you know, fast or whether it's slow. It's a matter of, you know, I mean, if psychologically you're, I mean, it could. I guess there could be some issues with that, but I have not seen anybody come and complain about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking as long as you are focused in on those, have you done pretty well with focusing in on large king timings? Have you seen, you know, the advantage and been able to do that quite well, or do you not focus too much on that? What's your opinion? What's your feeling around that?
No, usually there's a big reaction when it comes to the king timing. I've noticed that, and especially if there's a double or more, it kind of, you know, makes it visible out there that there's going to be a reaction when it reaches that point.
Okay,
price
cool.
reaches.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're able to execute well at 10x, you're going to be just fine at 1x, right? So
yeah, it kind of feels slow.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, but here's where NASDAQ comes in, right? NASDAQ is always kind of fast. I'm gonna say always because, you know, that's silly. I don't like speaking hyperbolistically with always and nevers and whatnot like that. But in general, NASDAQ is gonna be quite fast quite often, right? So NQ is your 10x friend, right? Which is great because then this also shortens the amount of time to make money. And our whole goal is to make as much money in as little time as possible. It's literally everybody's goal in the entire world. Whether you're trading or just regular work, right? Everybody's trying to like maximize the amount that they can make in their, if you're a 9-to-5er, right? You're putting in 8 hours a day. Well, in that 8 hours, do you want to make 25K a year or do you want to make 50K a year? Well, everybody's trying to get upgraded. Everybody's trying to, well, I want to get that manager position. All right, so maybe you're making 65 a year. Still same hours, supposedly, right? You know, and well, now you upgrade and now I'm making 75K a year. Oh, now I'm making 100K a year. But you're squeezing it in that 8 hours, right? You are trying to maximize how much you make in the same amount of time. So time is semi-irrelevant in what we do, although it's also very, very relevant to our timing of our entries. And we don't care what time of day, we care about timing on our SMLK lines. And especially now that you have Delta, you know, a lot of that is paying attention to Delta. Delta can also be just like these. So this is probably a big key for everybody. Does everybody understand that the Deltas can be just as powerful as like recognizing that we just landed on king timing, right? Boom, double Delta sitting here. You realize like that's just like landing on king, right? We have one play called the Delta King, right? What's a Delta King? Yeah. That's when we have yeah, perfect. So we've got our pink vertical line, and at the same point, we have a delta of some color. If I can draw one of these here. Big fat delta. We don't care what color it is. If it is green or if it is red. But if it lands right here and we get anything across a dot, anything on this play, right? I am taking the Dr. Seuss entry. If I'm coming down into it and I get the blue fish up and out, then I'm going long. If I am coming up into the line and I come and I get my red down and I get that Delta King right here, right? I am going to try to take a play for this. That is a Delta King. Now you need to practice these, okay? You don't just be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna throw that in. Over time, you will see these opportunities and you will get better over time. It's kind of, I used my Battlefield analogy recently again, because I did, you know, a game of Battlefield the other night and showed like, hey, Daddy still got it, right? Still number one on the server. How did I get to a level where I am like a pro in anything in Battlefield, right? In Battlefield, you have the sniper, you got the engineer, you got the medic, I'm missing one. Support. I don't run support very much, but I'm still very pro at support with the C4s, right? And what about the planes, right? You don't have to be good at all of these. Over time, though, you can, right? First, get good at one, right? And be like the pro engineer. I am going to be able to do everything that an engineer can do. Awesome. And then add in. Now I'm going to start to learn how to be the medic. And then I'm going to add in how I can be support. And then I'm going to add in how to be the sniper. If you try to go into a game and become, you know, good at all these at once, then that's that whole jack of all trades and master of none. Okay, we don't want to do that. But yes, over time, you are going to be adding things to your repertoire as you go. Once you master one section and you're just killing it on one, then you add another. Okay, my vehicle stuff, people's like, yeah, Vinny, you're so good in jet. Well, jet is one of the hardest things to get good at, is getting in any of the jets. But where did I start? I actually started in helis. Okay, I spent a lot of time in helicopters. I became pro level in helis, where people, I would give them hell. All right, like nobody could beat me if I was in a helicopter. You were toast. All right, you were not. I could single seat better than basically anybody, and a lot of it had to do with my mouse. Okay, I can do things with this mouse because of where the keys are. Right, I've told you guys, taking advantage of that in this, but and its size and shape. So heli was good, but I kept trying the jet and kept getting wrecked. Okay, I would get wrecked, getting wrecked, but I'd go back to my heli and I would destroy people. Oh, getting wrecked, until eventually I got to a level where, as I added those in, I got good at that too, and now I'm pro level at everything. Okay, but I didn't just, you're not just gonna be born overnight with instantaneous levels of being pro at all of our setups. Okay, so add them in over time. But it's a good idea to practice. You know, the more you practice, I'm telling you, there is a direct correlation in the amount of time that you spend in market replay and the size of your P&L. And I'm gonna put this out here for our final statement right here, okay? Yeah, let's see if I can do it a little bit smaller. Okay, this should encourage you to be spending your time in market replay on the weekends. We have found, like, the guy who spends the most time here wins. And I'll tell you this, the same thing applies to Battlefield gamers. I am going to go into a gamer series in the next couple of weeks where I'm going to show you guys the correlations between gamers and then practicing the way that we approach the markets. And that a gamer literally will sit there and they will spend, you know, 8 to 12 hours a day, you know, playing in practice, that's their sim, right? They'll go into a server all by themselves, practicing just shooting at a pole. You guys think I'm joking, but they will literally look at a light pole on a map, okay? And they will sit there and put their crosshair reticle right there, and they will practice snapping. They'll have your reticle over here on the right, okay? And they will practice snapping over, pow, hitting it, and then pow, hitting it, and then pow, tat-tat-tat, pow, tat-tat-tat, pow, tat-tat-tat, so that they don't overshoot. Pow, tat-tat, pow, tat-tat, pow, tat-tat. They'll do this over and over again on poles. They'll jump and then do the same thing. Jump and move, and continuously be putting their crosshair right on the thing that they need to. And that little practice, what's interesting is then they go into game where people are moving around and things, and that naturally translates. And I'll say the same thing, you guys playing market replay. Doing market replay, playing at high speed, and then when you do it in game, right? Real live markets, when you are in there, the same thing will apply. That's why I tell you guys to spend the time in the market replay, execute, and it will translate. It's like a magical thing. It just happens. You'll get this, it's like becoming Neo from the Matrix. You just like start to see things coming, right? You will just line up a large and king timing, right? You'll just see it coming. You'll see the deltas ahead of time. You won't even think about them anymore. You'll just be like, yep, red delta coming in. Oops. Red delta coming in. I see it. Oh, I got a second one. Yep. Okay, we got ready up. Cool. I'm taking the next play. You won't even think about it. It won't be like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this? Oh, it's ready up. Okay, what's it gonna be? No, you're just like, okay, yep, yeah, okay, get ready for it, and boom, there's my green dot. Okay, wait for it, and boom, there's my cross on it. Headshot to the long. Pow. Go. Okay, you will start to just react, and that muscle memory will kick in because you have done your time in market replay. Now, again, it's the size. Will you be successful without doing market replay? You could be, right? But it's the size of the P&L, right? You might be positive, okay? You'll be positive P&L, right? But the difference in size, okay? It's the difference between the guy making a few $100s a day, the guy making a few thousand. All right. I saw some. I always like to tap on the trolls here in the final moments. Let's bring over some of the trolling. What do we got? We got, did I see Giant FX in here? Where's he at? Pop out chat. Giant. You know what's funny? Have you guys ever noticed in movies where they'll call like Robin Hood's right-hand man was Little John, right? And so Little John, they called him Little John. So was Little John big or was he small? Anybody on the microphone? Did I lose everybody? What? Anybody know about the old Robin Hood movies, Little John? If they called him Little John, was he big or was he small?
No, he was big, Vinny.
He was giant.
Huge, right? In other movies, any like, I don't know, they'll call, you know, some gangster thug movie, and they'll be like, oh yeah, call Little Mo, right? Was Little Mo, if somebody called somebody Little Mo, when Little Mo walked through the door, did you expect him to be big or small?
Really small.
He was big.
The opposite.
Like tiny.
Well, it's funny, they would say that, right? But it's the opposite. That's always the funny part about in movies is that they'll call him Little Mo, but Little Mo is like this ginormous dude that can't even fit through the door, right? So they like joke about it, how it's like, yeah, they call him little, but he's huge, right? So then you got the opposite here. This dumbass Giant FX, right? I guarantee you, he calls himself Giant, and God, y'all, like he's probably, you know, he's got pee-pee size the size of my pinky, right? Like this is, and the brain cells to match it. Am I right? So Giant FX, you know, this is no Little John, Big John scenario here. This is going to be, so you call yourself big, and I'm going to guess you have the smallest brain on the planet. Let's find out. My brother traded this algo puzzle, and guess what? He lost more than you could imagine. In the long run, you guys are going to be woke to reality and learn how to independently trade FX. Okay, is that right? So Giant FX, so we're already starting out with a gigantic lie. So is that why they call you Giant? Because you tell giant lies? Let's see. Do you have any proof whatsoever? What is your brother's name? What? Let's see if that is true. You're saying that your brother was part of our crew and lost huge. Is that right? Oh, don't tell me he left. Giant FX, say hello over here. You're still here, right?
He hasn't typed in a long time.
Been a while. All right, he got bored. You guys smoked him? I didn't get to see all of it. I just saw that there was a little bit of trolling on over there. You guys hate ICT because you're not educated. Oh, it's an ICT kid. Oh, okay, so guaranteed the Giant is a... He's definitely not a mental giant. This is a mental midget. Guaranteed. ICT, you're not educated enough to understand what he's teaching. He doesn't train lazy robot boys. Okay. You're using a fake account and I dislike it. Get out. Curtis G. He's accusing Curtis of using a fake account. Curtis, what fake account are you using?
I don't know. Can you hear my voice, Giant? Yeah. Do I sound like Vinny? Do I sound like anybody else?
Oh, is
Thank
he
you.
saying the Vincenzo account was you?
He was saying that you were sock puppeting or something, which is ironic, don't you think?
That is hilarious. And so the lowest IQ people on the planet, like Democrats, always accuse the other party of doing what they're actually doing. It's called projection. So projection level defense, you already pulled the projection thing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They don't use ALGOBOX 120, prefer 160 over ICT. Yeah, you know, I don't really think you have to actually be super smart to be here. I just think you have to not be dumb. Like, and ICT students like start at 80, like their IQ level is 80, like on average. I've studied them for a long time, like this whole year, like looking into the ICT saga, because these guys decided to threaten my family. So I wanted to look in to see like, what are these people? Who are these people? Who are they? Where do they come from? And every single one of them is like an 80 or below IQ. It's insane. All right, so he's not going to be here to have any fun. Well,
Nope.
Giant FX, I'm sure it is like the opposite of Little John. Little John was a big dog and Lil Mo is a big guy, but when you call yourself Giant anything, it's a guarantee you are tiny. All right, well, we had enough fun here tonight. Thanks for hanging out. I've got some really cool topics this week, and I'm going to try to cover at least 3 of them. And on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a review of another Tom Sosnoff and Radigan that was just absolutely amazing. And on Friday, we will be releasing the latest version of ALGOBOX Pro with nearly a 70 to 80% performance boost and extra bells and whistles. I think you guys are going to like it. I will keep you guys updated this week. And don't forget, if you have not done so, roll over your contracts. I think everybody did already, but just in case you didn't, make sure you are on the 06 for the E-minis, 04s for gold, and 04 for your crew. Right. Thanks for hanging out. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis, G, and the rest of the gang. Make sure you follow us over here on social media. Lots of fun, and I will send out the big H-Town. See ya.